Hello all, I'm Atheistexplains, the opposing view in this debate. Zach, I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to be addressing both you and potential viewers that may stumble across this as I get about 500-ish views per video. This is the video where I establish the Atheist Position, which is my position. And my position is simple. I want to promote honesty. I won't ask you to think using two sets of books. I won't ask you to split your brain into a pluralistic schism between religion and reality. I won't try to trick you with word games, what-ifs, nebulous concepts, or try to suspend your better judgment by amping up your emotion with promises of a blissful hereafter or threats of eternal torture. I won't keep trying to insist that the mysteries of the universe are caused by a who rather than a what. I get this often when I listen to Christians evangelize. I simply want to promote honesty. I will do my best to be honest with you. I am an agnostic atheist, a weak atheist, a negative atheist. The best fitting labels out there to describe someone who does not believe in a God but doesn't know for certain if there's one out there or not. Unfortunately, there are a battery of definitions out there both for atheist and agnostic. Using my definitions, Zach is an agnostic theist, someone who doesn't know for certain if there is a God or not, and despite never encountering God in any real way that couldn't be described as placebo, he believes in one anyways, specifically one that identifies itself as a he, has a schizophrenic relationship with itself called the Trinity, and chooses to reveal itself primarily through a book it wrote through the hands of mortal men 6,000 to 1900-ish years ago. My stance, to put it very clearly, is not, there is no God. It's very hard to say that when the term God is so rarely defined, and if it is done so poorly. According to some definitions, Fernando Cortez is a god, the trees in the forest are gods, the sun that our planet orbits is a god, and I've heard someone explain to me how I am a god. It seems our planet is teeming with gods. I won't argue that these things don't exist or I don't believe in them, that would be silly. It's almost as if the word God used to be synonymous with the word noun, and as the divine nature of these nouns has been discredited, one by one, it seems that the only ones left to discredit are the ones that are invisible and immaterial, the ones that might not exist. Zach, you've provided me with a good definition of what your God is, so please don't think I'm accusing you of arguing for a nebula like many other theists do. Like me, you are an atheist in regards to all of those other gods, so we have a lot of common ground. I just go one further. The God you're putting forward, from my perspective, seems to have evolved from its predecessors, maintaining a shroud of vague mystery that it can continually fall back into as science and knowledge encroach on its domains that used to be explained by God. It used to be that when the rain fell, a god sent it. When the crops grew, a god tended them. When a volcano erupted, a god made it happen. When a rainbow happens, it's a bifrost connecting Asgard to Earth, or is the mode of transportation for the god Isis, or it is a covenant with God that he won't murder every living thing again. Or it's a bow used by Indra to shoot bolts of lightning, or it's the highest state of consciousness before attaining nirvana, or it's a marker for a leprechaun's treasure. These theories worked out well for our forefathers until we came to the age of scientific enlightenment. It's an age where the scientific method was applied to the world around us, a method which is our most honest, most rigorous, most scrutinizing, and most comprehensive search for truth that mankind has ever used. With it, we found out that the rain didn't fall because Baal and a gnat are copulating, it fell because of the condensation of atmospheric water vapor. Crops don't grow because Ceres is happy, but because they can consume nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Volcanoes don't erupt because the spirits within are displeased with the amount of sacrificed virgins they are receiving. They erupt because of a buildup of pressure in the magma below. Rainbows exist because of the refractive index and the relationship of water droplets suspended in the atmosphere interacting with sunlight. One by one, science has shot down the religious myths, replacing the crutch of relying on the supernatural to explain away our ignorance. The rain gods died, the crop gods died, the volcano gods died, metaphorically speaking, and the only gods that have survived are the ones with followers smart enough to move the goalposts back. My stance, very clearly put, is there is no reason to believe in any god. And I'll go further and define a god as a supernatural being, an entity that interacts with the universe through supernatural magical means, an infinite life form, an omniscient creature, an omnipresent essence, an all-powerful intelligence. It's a broad definition, sure, one that even angels, demons, and devils fall into, but I really don't see much of a difference between a lesser superghost and a greater superghost. I don't doubt that Zach is earnest in his belief, that he has studied his reasons for his faith, and that he has satisfied any of the doubts he's encountered. It's refreshing to see someone who has an understanding of the debate between theism and atheism. I'm even willing to bet that he's a nicer guy than I am, a feat easily accomplished, but I do think that he's been misled and caught up in the whirlwind of Christian apologetics. We'll see as he presents his case. I believe his next video is going to show how atheism is a poor worldview, and then I'm going to respond to his video before presenting my first point. To answer Zach's two questions, at what point in the 9-step outline did I disagree with you? The first step, we exist. I don't doubt that you exist, and you don't doubt that I exist, but we're talking about two different things here. I see us existing as purely biological creatures that were born, will live for an average of 73 years, and then will die and cease to exist any longer. Your view is that we both exist, but as undefined spirit essences that possess bodies, and when the bodies die, we continue to exist onto infinity. If I'm not splitting hairs like this, I'd have to say that step 6 is where my answer starts to differ from yours. It seems that you are under the impression that the first cause was a who rather than a what. What can you pray for on my behalf? Huh. Been years since anyone has asked me that. All chances to be snarky pushed aside, I guess I'd have to say I'd like you to pray for motivation. Zach, now that we've both made videos establishing our position, I'd like you to make your first point. The floor is yours.